Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. I am in Mbale, Uganda, and today I will be doing a video discussion with a good friend of mine called Sue Tiong. And again, because I don't have a studio and I'm on the road all the time, I am in a restaurant using their Wi-Fi, so I don't know how stable it's going to be, and hoping that there won't be too much noise because there's actually a lot of people here. So just bear with me, and I hope you find this discussion interesting. Okay. So today I have a special friend and guest. Her name is Sue Tiong. So I will let Sue introduce herself. Sue, take it away.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sue, and I'm a business coach and also an entrepreneur with a big heart. I help a lot of the impoverished community, those hardcore poor single mothers and youth who have a hunger to make a difference in their life. And I'm also a mentor. I mentor youth who have the motivation to become an entrepreneur and just talk to me if you want. And I just feel very connected to Celeste because she's very radical and vocal in all the issues that people usually don't dare to talk about, and I'm just very excited to talk to all of
Okay, so there was a little bit of a
you.
kind
Delay.
of no, not a delay. Yeah, there is a delay, but there's also a little bit of a glitch going on. But
Oh dear.
we'll try our best. I think it could be the internet, the actual connection. So the last thing you mentioned is child brides, child
uh,
marriages. So what did you want to say about that?
well, I come from a culture where child marriages was very common only 100 years ago. Asian. So
Mm-hmm.
my great grandmother was really sold as a child bride to my great grandfather, and it was back in China. So she was kept by her mother-in-law as a maid until she reached puberty. And by then, my great grandfather was already in Borneo, so she was shipped. The moment she has a period, she was shipped off to my grandfather so she could fulfill her role as a wife and give him a son, which she did.
Mm.
And so it's like and across the world, 100 years ago, 150 years ago, child brides are actually very, very common, and arranged marriages are very, very common. But with the advent of our more educated women, and then like trying to and then more awareness on how early marriages is damaging the bodies of the little girls, so we have laws that protects these girls so that at least they have access to basic human rights, to have education, to at least complete their education so they can be employable. So anything happen to them, they have some economic income. They have some power in the economy. So then, however, there are still cultures in the world where there are females who are taken out of school to be married off. And it's not only in third world countries. We get stories from UK and US where there are also still cultures where 15-year-olds are taken out from school and just married off during summer camp time. So
Mm.
that kind of stories, and it's not only to any particular religion, although they are to certain religions. Okay, so I feel that there are also countries where they legalize child marriages in the name of religion or culture, saying that if, let's say, the child is raped
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and you marry that child, then it's legal.
Right, right.
So
Yeah.
I feel that that is a very thinly veiled, like a very thinly covered um, tactic to to manipulate the child and also to feed the sexual urges of pedophiles,
Mm.
or perverts. So which I feel, okay, if let's say the child, I do know of girls who are 15 years old who totally have no academic inclination whatsoever. I talk to them before, I counsel them before, and they say, I want to get married because I want to be a good mother. I've seen how my grandmother did it. So my grandmother brought me up. I don't want to be like my mother. So she's very clear. I want to marry my boyfriend, and my boyfriend is 30 years old. And when she's sure about that, yes, fine, go ahead. But we're talking about like child marriages where it's manipulated in such a way that the child has no say.
Right, right.
You get where I'm coming from? So
Yeah,
if the child is clear, like she's 15 years old, she's clear, she wants, this is the life that she wants, she doesn't want to study anymore, and she has already proven that she fails every subject or whatever. So I mean, like, if she wants to go ahead, go ahead. It's a better life for her. But if you are talking about manipulating the system in such a way that you satisfy just a group of men out of their fetishes or whatever, then I totally don't agree with that. Especially
right.
when the children have dreams that were crushed because they were taken out of school and just married off like that. So that's where I'm coming from.
Okay. Yeah, for me, it's
Yeah.
like this. Any person who is under 18 is a minor. Every
Yeah.
person who is 18 and older is an adult. So no sexual interaction whatsoever should be allowed.
Oh, Celeste, they're fucking from 12 years old, 9
Yes, it
years old
doesn't
now.
matter. They can, yes, they're doing it, but if you take them to court, no. Because if you're 9 and you're having sex with a 9-year-old or a 10-year-old, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, it's okay because you are both minors. Even if you're 2, whatever, you minors. But if you are 17 years and 23 hours old and you're having sex with someone who is exactly 18 years old and 1 minute, that is already a crime as far as I'm concerned, because this is a minor and this is an adult. Whether they love each other or what, it doesn't matter. Minor, adult. So to me, it's very simple. So, and if she's 15, like you said, and he's 30, still no, because he's an adult, she's a minor. And
Oh,
and you'll be
well,
surprised.
okay.
And when you say the like
Yeah.
the marriage, the manipulation, yes, you see that whole manipulation with when it's they marrying off. For me, it's just very simple. It's pumping from the parents. As far as I'm concerned, the parents are pimp, and the man who's taking her, he's a pedophile because she is a minor, or he's a sexual molester. He's a child molester. Like your scenario
Yes.
with a 15-year-old and a 30-year-old, that would be statutory rape because it's not forced. She wants it, but it's statutory rape. It falls under that. You see, because in the criminal
Yes. Yes.
system, they have
Yes.
all
Yes.
the criteria. And the other thing is that you'll be surprised. Most of these marriages that happen between a minor girl, because it's normally girls, and an adult male, the catalyst behind this, the person pushing for it, is the mother, not even the father. It is the mother. This is what can drive me really like crazy, because we are supposed to be women, we're supposed to be looking out for each other, but no, like I always say, we are our own and each other's worst enemies. It will be the mother pushing the child to get married or putting it in the girl's.
But sometimes it's also the society, and like
Yeah,
it's
but
my
still
role as a mother.
yes,
So
yes.
they are so brainwashed, they're so ingrained in that culture that it's my role as a mother to groom my daughter to be the good wife, the obedient wife, the
Yeah, no, but
perfect
she
nubile
can still
wife.
be all of that, but she can be that after she's 18. You know what I'm saying? While
Yes,
she's a minor, that should
yes,
not even be. Then the society should be telling her
yes.
to groom her daughter to be a good child, to learn to
Well,
study.
I totally agree. I totally agree with minimum 18 years old
Yeah,
age
that's just the
for
human.
girls to be
That's
married.
the Geneva
Even
Convention,
now it's 16 years
rights
old.
of the
I feel
child
still young.
age.
Yeah,
No, that's the if you look at
yeah,
the Geneva Protocols for the rights of the child, it's 18. Even for child soldiers,
yes.
anything that involves, because a child, a person under 18 years of age, they cannot consent. They cannot give consent. And anyway, science has proven that the maturity, a woman's uterus only matures at age 25. So you shouldn't even be having babies before the age of 25. And a man's frontal lobe, the reasoning uh, 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 part of your brain only matures at age 25. So when you are not even 25, how can you reason? They usually use it in court cases, when
especially in where heinous crimes are committed, they can use that as mitigating circumstances. But my issue with the
Yes.
brides, that's why when you brought this up, is that I want to highlight this, that women, children are being forced into marriage, not so much by the fathers or by men, but by their mothers and women. This is what I've been on my travels. This is what I have been seeing. You know, like in
Well, in the culture, in their culture, the women have a certain norm to conform to, which I feel that we need to educate not the mothers, but this generation of girls to remember the
yes, because they
moment
are
they
the
were married
future
off.
mother. Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. We have
Yes.
to educate
Yes.
the girls,
There's not much that we can do with the
the mothers.
hardened up
Yeah,
adults.
yeah. Lost case. Yeah,
Yeah. So it's
lost
the
case.
next generation.
Yes, like the Gen Z. Not even not even the
Yes.
millennials, because the millennials, oh my goodness, that's again another generation. We have to start with the Gen Z. That means everyone under 15. Yeah, yeah, they have to be
Yes.
educated,
Yes.
because like I even said this the other day, because a broken girl will become a broken mother. Well, a broken woman, and a broken woman becomes a broken mother. And a broken mother is the mother of all these serial killers, rapists, mass murderers, you know. So we have to start, because men, you know,
Yes.
they on a different agenda. That's the men is another. We leave that for another day. But just with the women,
Well,
educate
I agree
girls.
because yeah, I have seen how the children just fell through cracks of the law, and how they sometimes use the law to their advantage. The men
Mm-hmm,
will use the law to their advantage. But the
mm-hmm.
elders will just manipulate the law and just marry off the girl to cover up a rape, to cover up
Yes,
some sexual
yes,
assault, or whatever, and then to save the family name, save their
yes,
face.
and that's
And
where the
I work
mother
with
and the women in the society have to step up to help that child. You see,
yes,
but they don't do
and
that.
I do see a lot of I do see a lot of unfairness in this, and usually these kids are products of a mother who has been wrong in her life as well. So
Mm-hmm,
it's just like the family perpetuated that culture of like failing the kids.
mm-hmm.
So that then they are married off just for the sake of saving family and face and of everything. So I work with a lot of kids who are 9 years old, 10 years old, who are already sexually experienced.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
so, so and then after that, so there are many horrid cases where I just like, how could a kid survive? You know, they are still alive, and we just have to do what we can so that they will trust the world again.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
yeah, so it's very very sad. And I for one, if let's say this marriage is legalized to be under 12 years old, I will be the first one to put my life on the line to make sure it doesn't happen, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So but then yeah, so because you are so young, and then you're supposed to protect the child and not pimp off the child. I
Yes,
totally agree with that.
yeah. And us women, we're
And yes,
supposed to
16
be a
years old
tribe,
anytime.
right? We're supposed to be a
Yes.
tribe. So the tribe has to stand together. We have to stand together and fight what is right, or fight for what is right. But we don't do that. Instead, we
Yes.
fight each
And
other.
even when I first shared about my grandmother's story of how she's married off, they don't allow her to have sex until she has reached puberty.
Right? But
But now we're
now
talking
you
about
reach
child
puberty
marriages.
at 6.
Yes, where is I mean, like now we're talking about like they're so young, like 7 years old, 8 years old. They're not even sexually mature yet, and they're already the pedophiles just want to satisfy that last and just break the promise and just okay, Hyman. So I mean, like this is so manipulated. Last time there was at least respect for the sanctity of the human body, and
Yes.
now it's just like perverse. So I see how it's all manipulated by the desires of certain groups of people, and
Yeah.
how child marriages is like legalized in such a way it benefits a certain small group of men. So yeah, so yeah, I'm all for the law, um, but
Because
just that I have met with cases where it's the exception. So I was like, okay, fine.
yeah, no, I mean, I know, but I cannot say the name. I know
Hmm.
someone very close to me now whose parents, I always say the father's a child molester, because he is, you
Uh,
know, because he is. And I have friends, they know. I'm not going to mention names because they know, because they'll be watching this. They know. I always tell them that. I say, your husband is a child molester. because you were 15 and he was 26 when he made you pregnant. He's a freaking child molester. And then we just laugh, ha ha ha, because it's the truth. They know because they'll watch this and they know, and they'll just tell me, Celeste, lucky you didn't mention my name. But it's okay. Yeah. So, you know, it's not even that it's something that happened in the past. It's something that is, we are even living now. I've been to weddings in Malaysia where the person, the child is, the girl is 14 and the man is 28. That my son, who was that time 6, even said, but isn't she just a girl? You know, so it's not even that it happened that far away. That far long ago. It happens all the time, and it happens, like I say, because from what I can see in my experience, because like in my friends' cases, when I was the one went to go, oh, you know, Mrs. Blah blah blah, so and so, her boyfriend is this age, and you know he's a man, and they shouldn't be together. You know what they told me? I must keep my fat mouth shut and not make trouble. You see, but that's how it is.
Well, that's how the society works for you.
That's how it works.
That's a society.
I even went to the church and told the priest it shouldn't be allowed. And the priest also told me to keep my fat mouth shut. But anyway, yeah. Okay. So it was very nice talking to you. Thank you so much for your time, and hope to speak to you again.
Yep. Thank you, Celeste. It has been a very invigorating discussion indeed. And a lot of controversial thoughts being exchanged and a lot of laughter as well at the stupidity of how the system is sometimes.
Okay.
But there's still hope.
There's hope.
There's still hope for people like that.
Hope.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to you again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.